Hi guys, Debbie here. Welcome back. We are going to be hanging our dangles on our tabs in our books today, in our journals. It's looking very fat, very busy, and very done. We have a couple of things to do. We're going to put our dangles on, and I'm just going to add some paper clips. So paper clips, I'm going to, the little pages that fold over, I'm going to slip a paper clip on. And all I did was I cut some strips of fabric with my zigzag scissors, or you can rip, or you can use ribbon, or you can use string, or you don't even have to put one on, or you can just use your paper clip as it is. But I'm just going to add some threads. My book looks very busy and very fat because everything that I've illustrated to you and all the excess cards that I've made, I've put in the journal just so that I can show it to you. In reality, I probably wouldn't stuff it as big as this, but I just wanted to put everything in that we've made on throughout the journaling videos. I've put it in my book. So judge yours. If yours gets too fat, put less in and leave more up to the journaler. Or if you don't mind it big and fat and bulging, your ties will hold it together and it's not a problem whatsoever. That's the thing with junk journaling. It's not a conventional journal. It's meant to be this great big interesting treasure book that you can't wait to tell your story into. Okay, so let's get going here. In your kits you do have your little pins and your charms. If you don't have a kit and you're doing this on your own, I literally pulled a bracelet apart. It was just a cheapy bracelet, but had these darling little charms on them, or they little beads that have already been threaded with put together. So I pulled it apart and I've just used these little jump ringy things, little pins. I'll put a link on the bottom. I got them on Amazon and they're wonderful. So anyway, I will do that, and we're going to put these on our tabs. So let's go. I have 6 main tabs, as you know, throughout the book. So I'm literally going to just grab one willy-nilly. Oh, that one came apart. So I'm going to just put that back on there. And what we're going to do is, I hope you can see this, I'm literally just going to pin them on like that. Just like you would a safety pin. Just as you would a safety pin. Let's get that pinned on there. So our dangles are now hanging in our books. So that's how I've put it on. If you find a better way to do it, go ahead and do it your way. It doesn't really matter. Just get them pinned on. Okay, so I'm going to go to my next tab, which is here. And I'm just willy-nilly grabbing one. And I am going to... that goes there. The dangle goes on the bottom. So I'm going to just put... I'm putting it just exactly as I would a safety pin. If I don't like the way it's dangling afterwards, I can always go and check it out. But there we go. And on to the next one. Grab willy-nilly, willy-nilly. Some are little pearls and some are little crystals. They're quite lovely. But this is a great way to use up those old necklaces, you know, your junk jewelry, or I shouldn't call it junk jewelry, your costume jewelry that you're no longer wearing, or you've moved on because you prefer a different style and it's just hanging in your wardrobe. Use them up, pull them apart and use them up, or otherwise you can just make your own little beads and dangle stuff on. Lots of instruction on how to make them on YouTube. Honestly, I feel you could almost perform surgery by watching YouTube. There's so much instruction out there, which is fun. We're in lockdown. What else are we doing? Learn a new craft, learn a new something. That's what you should do. Okay, pin that on there. Another one, so I'm going to go to my middle one now, which is there. Let's grab a pin, There we go. I hope I'm on camera, guys. So hard to monitor here. There we go, like that. So thank you for sticking through. If you did stick through with me on all of these videos, I hope you learned something and I hope it was handy for you. And I hope that you'll move on to making another journal. They're so fun. I'm having so much fun. It's making me work on journals. So what I have done, I've made a bunch of kits for myself. I put them all together in undone form. and I'm going to be making journals. I'm starting to get ready for Christmas, and you know, I always like to have some as gifts in my repertoire, and of course I use them too. Well, that one's, that one is open. That's a nuisance. I'm not going to hang one on there because I'm not going to do it on camera, but I'll come back to that one. This little hook is open. I must have pulled it off really tight. That's okay. We'll do that off camera. That's so you'll still get the picture here. So here are, if you can see your book. And it's just delightful, just delightful. I love opening up my journal and seeing these little things dangling in there. It just adds a little something. If you have some charms, if there's something a little special to you, if you have that tiny little brooch, perhaps that has sentimental value to you, and you have some fabric on the front, put your little brooch on. Everything is possible. It just becomes a treasure of your memories, your dreams, your hopes, and your past. One day your kids will find your journals and read through them, and they'll be surprised at what goes on inside your head. Anyway, let's just get these. I'm looking for, actually let's do a flip through as we go here. Here's the front of our journal. Here's my, I think I showed that to you. I've done This Book Belongs To on there. And I'm just going to slip that back in there. And here we go. Just to show you what we've done here. Little card. And I put some envelopes in. I stuffed our envelopes in that we did. And I've put all the little notes in the tuck spots. In our pockets, I've just used journaling card. You can put notes, you can do whatever you like in there. Just make sure it fits in your little tuck spot. So that's what's in there. I have put journaling cards inside my envelopes. So let's get, oopsie daisy, let's get that back inside there. Okay. There we go. And I'll show you what I've done on some of the pages here. There's a little jewel. That's so sweet. Remember I told you that sometimes when I flip a page, there's no correlation between this page and that page. So I just go back to my fabric scraps or paper scraps or whatever, and I try and tie them in. On my corners here, I've added some fabric and a little stamp, just because it was just so plain, and I wanted to spruce this up. And besides, the glue from this gives us extra reinforcement, because you're going to be pulling things in and out here, and I wanted this to be securely on there. Okay, here we go. Here is the spot for a paper clip. So I'm literally going to put the paper clip there, and here's my little fabric piece that's on there. I've just tied it in an under over knot, and then I've snipped it short, and that's the way I'm going to leave it, like that. So you get the idea there. I've got journaling cards inside the pockets, and I've just left them plain. They're staying exactly like that. Journaling card. Isn't this looking lovely? I love junk journals, honestly I do. They've just taken journaling to a whole new level for me. There we go. I'll just put another one on there. And I've put some envelopes in. I've tucked an envelope in there. There we go. I put, this one was looking very plain, so I got a little piece of lace, and I glued a quote on there, and I think that looks quite lovely. And it ties in with the whole lacy thing that's going on here. On this side here, I had brown and I had pink, and I thought, that needs to tie in. So I put a little piece of pink fabric and a couple of little scraps there. I glued that on there. Now you can see they just kind of look like they're meant to be together. Looks like I planned that, but I didn't. I went back afterwards and made it happen. The same here. I think maybe we did this the first time round. This sort of ties in colors here all around. The blue and the pinks, and looks really nice. And here we have a journaling card in there, which I've done all the antiquing around the edges. Here's another spot for a paper clip. Excuse me, sorry. I can't talk and use my fingers at the same time, apparently. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Anyway, I'm just going to tie this into a little knot here, and I'm just going to do it once just to get it in the book. Come on, come on. There we go. There we go. told you I have big fingers, and using little pieces sometimes is not the easiest. So I'm going to just put that on there, and we have another little tie there. Just add some extra shabbiness. So here we go again. Here's another little tuck spot, and I have a card in there. Just cards, and there's another little jewel. How sweet, how absolutely sweet is that? I've added an envelope here, and here onto our next signature. I have a card in here, and I've just put the little lace envelope thingy that I made in there. I've got a couple of cards in here. There was room for that, so I did that. And there's some more journaling card. There's a little journaling card in there. And look how lovely those tie in. Isn't that so nice? So I went back in and put a piece of paper that matched the paper that I put on here. So that ties it in nicely. And here, journaling card in here. And we're not going to do anything there, so we don't need any paper clips. Here, this was this card that I made. Remember I told you that I had a little tuck spot. It's very plain. There's not much to it. But I added a little note card into it. Put it in a little sideways just to make it look more interesting. And I've thrown that in there. And we have a tuck spot here. And I'm just going to leave the little note in there. And we have journaling cards. And here we go. More journaling cards. I found a napkin. I have a little container that has embroidered napkins in it, and it already had a little blue butterfly that's been embroidered. So I just threaded some blue thread onto the needle, and I've stapled it on. If you can see that, I've stapled it on here, and I've got the thread there. And so I thought that just added a nice little surprise element there. Tuck spot here. I'm not going to tie this for you right now. I'll come back and do that. But there's a spot for a paper clip, which is right there. And this one here, I added this strip over here because I had some bright flowery stuff going on here, and this was just plain, and it wasn't quite tying in for me. So I found this little piece of fabric that I thought went nicely with that, and I just tied the two pages in together, and now it looks like it was meant to be. Nice journaling spots, and now center paper, pages, which I always love. I love it when you come to a spot in your journal and it's just like, oh my goodness, how pretty is that? Just gives you something to put a smile on your face. Journaling, and I just tucked a little something in there, and journal spot in there. And oh, I didn't tuck something in there, but I will go back and find something to tuck in there. So something needs to go in there. Little tuck spot, and you can see that I've added I added a little piece of fabric and a little piece of lace on there. And there's that lovely family photos, guys. If you have any family photos that you would like to include in your journals, that's a great way to do it. If it's grandma or grandpa or somebody that's in the family and you'd like to tell your kids about her or him, go on the back of the journal card and write who that person is. Because you know what, when you're gone and moved on to greener pastures, your family won't know who that person is, but they'll pull your journals, read all your juicy stuff, and find out who that lovely relative is. So anyway, just a thought. So many reasons to journal, and you can think of them all. Keep a diary for putting all your negative thoughts into, and it's good to get your negative thoughts out. So get yourself a plain old lined journal and put all your negative thoughts in there. These ones are the ones you hope your family find, and pick it up and find out who you are, what made you tick, and tell them some stories about your life. That's what these journals are. That's what they are for me. Of course, you make them whatever you want them to be, but that's what they are for me. Isn't that pretty? Look how this ties in with the pink and the green. And this one here, yep, nothing needs going on there. Journal card here. And here's another reason to put a paper clip on, and I will go back on and put the ribbons on, guys. I'm having a hard time. Oh, there's one with a ribbon right there. I get self-conscious trying to tie them on in front of camera, so I'll do the others off of camera. So I put an envelope in there, And there's our journal card. I like that, though, how that one turned out. That was the sort of the old country road one. And here's the back of our book now. I have a journal card. I did decided to stuff it in there. That's the one I had in mind that I wanted to go back there. And I've put an envelope in there as well. And at the very back, I've put my little notebook in there, like that. So our journaler, when she gets to the end of her note, of her journal, can put some final thoughts in there. And here's my little note that I'm sending to my friend. So with a bag of tea, and she will discover that somewhere, either in the beginning or in the end. Depends on how vigilant she is at going through the journal. Anyway, guys, that is it. That is our junk journal. Thank you so much for coming along with me and building your journal, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any comments or if you have any constructive criticism, please let me know. Please let me know. Thank you so much, and happy journaling.